Hello, my name is Jaegers, and today I'm going to talk about human relations management theory. This theory is also sometimes referred to as behavioral management or neoclassical organization theory. This theory, along with many others, makes up what is management today. When we think about management today, we may think of the 5 managerial functions we learned about in this course: planning, organizing, staffing, influencing, and controlling. This theory emerged in the 1920s and focused on managers' and workers' behavior and what affects their behavior. Workers also became recognized as social myths. The Industrial Revolution was a turning point for management and employee relationships. There was no shortage of skilled labor during this time. Machines were introduced, and the shift was made from more precise labor to more productive labor. The Industrial Revolution has also changed how the manager's role was viewed. Managers' jobs went from owner-manager to a professional salaried manager. These theorists are important to the human relations movement, and their studies show how management has evolved. Next, I'm going to talk about each theorist and some findings that they contributed. Simon is well known for his contribution to the limited rationality theory. His theory states that workers will respond to attention. This means that if a manager were to give praise or criticism to an employee, they will likely respond to this. This can relate to how students may act if they know a professor is watching them. Chester Bernard is well recognized for his acceptance theory of authority. He thought that a supervisor had 3 top functions that they were to carry out. These were to 1. Establish and maintain effective communication with employees, 2. Hire and retain effective personnel, and 3. To motivate employees in the workplace. His acceptance theory of authority states that an authority figure only has as much power as employees see in them. If employees do not respect their authority figure, they do not have as much authority as they may think. Bernard suggests that authority flows in a downward direction and is dependent upon acceptance from the employees. His theory states that this acceptance is dependent upon 4 conditions. 1. The employees must understand what is being asked of them. It is hard for an employee to do their job if they do not know what is being asked of them. 2. Employees must possess the skills or knowledge needed to complete what is being asked of them. 3. Employees must agree what is being asked is true to the organizational goals. An employee would feel uncomfortable completing a task that went against the organization's goals. And 4. Is similar to 3 in that employees must not be asked to do something that goes against their own personal beliefs. Many of us have probably heard of the Hawthorne studies. These studies included various interviews with employees of what could improve work conditions in their environment. The result from these studies was that even if no changes were made to the environment, there was still a change in work productivity. This was interesting because it showed that workers will behave differently if they know they were being watched. This study showed that when attention was given to employees, they changed their behavior even when there was no changes made to their environment. Stanley Milgram is known for his study on obedience. This study consisted of participants who were chosen to have the power to administer an electrical shock to someone sitting behind a wall so they could hear the person but not see them. And the importance of this study was to see how someone will react when they are put in a position of power. This study also showed how someone will react when they are being told to do something by someone who has power over them. Most participants continued to administer the shock when the person in control of them told them to go on. This study highlights the power of authority in the human relations management theory. Most people are familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Essentially, every human has 5 essential needs that they want met. Psychological needs come first, then safety, belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. This is important to human relations management theory because it is important for supervisors to understand that their employees want their needs met. Using this approach as a supervisor, one can determine what is a motivational factor for their employees and use that to get the most production from them. Theory X and Theory Y are something we covered this semester. Douglas McGregor developed this theory on assumptions that managers have about the type of workers they employ. Theory X people are those workers who do not have initiative to do a job without being told. They may often be thought of as lazy and irresponsible. They must be told exactly what to do by their managers for a specific task. Theory Y people, on the other hand, are the go-getters. They take on responsibility and find work enjoyable. They are also very organized individuals. These individuals can adapt quickly to change and have the potential to help organizations thrive. The chart provided helps to distinguish the difference between Theory X and Theory Y individuals. Now I will talk about strategic human resource management as an important part of the human relations management theory. I think it is important because it defines the way in which people behave and interact together within an organization and will determine how well an organization is able to function. Without all employees adopting the same practices and working to build a solid foundation for the organization, there can never be harmony among all levels. When it comes to human relations management, the way a leader presents himself is very important. The type of leader one chooses to be will reflect how the group will respond to their leadership. Often employees play a role in participation in management because it is important for a leader to listen to the employees and understand what they need in their leader. A democratic leader would be involved with employees and give guidance as well as interact with the employees, while an authoritative leader may only give directives. A leader with the laissez-faire leadership style may sit back and not take on their responsibility of the leadership role. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit about informal leaders. These are the leaders who are born under certain conditions in an organization. Maybe there is a large group working on a task together. Naturally, someone in that group will become a leader. Work groups are social circles, and most employees want to feel included and be a part of that social circle. When these groups exist, there can be advantages and disadvantages. If the work group takes on the attitude of high work standards and has an effort to be productive, most employees will follow that role. But it only takes one person to have low productivity, and it can begin to come off on all the other employees. Thank you for taking the time to view this presentation on human relations management theory.